What is up, my friends and family? I'm Charmix, and today I'm going to be reacting to 10 most haunted objects in the world. But with that being said, the original link's in the description, and let's begin.
Number 10. The Anguished Man. Surrounded by mystery and blood magic, this painting has been a source of strange occurrences for 2 generations of the Robinson family.
That is
Decades
a creepy
ago,
looking painting.
A woman received the gift of a painting named the Anguished Man. Turns out she was incredibly unhappy with the gift, as she claimed that it brought an evil presence with it. Fearing for her safety, she placed it in her attic for over 25 years. Why didn't she throw it away? Well, I don't know. All those years later, Miss Robinson's grandson took the painting from her attic and hung it on his wall in defiance to her haunting stories. Turns out that wasn't the best move. Not long after he inherited the painting, he and his wife began to claim seeing a dark figure at the corner of the room and heard crying from the painting itself. Once, she even claimed something was stroking her hair. It is said that the artist who painted this painting mixed blood into his paint and killed himself not long after he finished it. The Robinson family was certainly chilled by this, prompting much discussion and even releasing a YouTube video with an example of what they experience. Google it, sit back, and see for yourself.
Stroking the hair? Sounds like it's a horny ghost.
Number 9. Sit back and relax. Speaking of sitting, suspended 5 feet in the air, located in a museum in England, is a chair. This is no ordinary chair. By no means should you ever sit in this chair, ever. In 1702,
I think I've heard
a man
this
by
one.
the name of Bubsy was sentenced to death. On death row, he had his final meal served at his favorite pub. When he finished his meal, he uttered, "May sudden death come to anyone who dare sit in my chair."
Yeah, I have.
And death did come. For hundreds of years, this chair remained in the pub while people drunkenly dared each other to sit in it. In World War II, people began to notice that all the airmen that used the chair were shot down. Later, 2 pilots who sat in the chair crashed, a man fell into a hole, and a cleaning lady died of a brain tumor. Finally, and justifiably so, the pub owner was tired of the chair and sent it to a local museum for safekeeping. Stay clear, my friends. Number 8. Hate Box. Start the story off with Jewish antiques, Nazi concentration camps, and I guarantee you will not have a good time. In 2001, a 103-year-old woman tried to auction off her wine cabinet with her granddaughter. She allegedly brought this cabinet overseas
She's
to
auctioning
America,
off her granddaughter?
along with 2 other items after being the lone survivor of the death camps in her family. Boy, did the bad feelings follow her. The woman neglected to explain that the cabinet was actually a Dybbuk box, which is a Jewish wine cabinet that is supposed to be haunted by a vicious spirit that will haunt and possess anyone that handles it. For some reason, the woman requested that she be buried with the box, but her family did not agree. The auctioneer tried to return it, but the granddaughter became enraged and adamantly refused to take it back. One thing you should never do with the Dybbuk is open it, but the auctioneer did. One day, he received a call from his shop from his assistant, utterly horrified that the gates had been locked and all the light bulbs exploded, leaving a cat urine smell lingering. Fearing for his own safety, he gave it to his mother. But seriously, who in their right mind would wish this crap upon their mother?
That's horrible.
Unfortunately, she suffered a stroke and cried the word hate gift out at the hospital. Every other person he tried to gift it to also suffered and then returned it. As it turned out, no one else would take his gift. Everyone who encountered it began to suffer the same nightmares, and as he woke, he claimed a shadowy figure was breathing on his neck. The auctioneer tried to sell it on eBay with his story, and the movie The Possession was released detailing these events.
Did he sell it?
Number 7. The Hands Resist Him. There's an eBay theme coming along here. In 2000, an eBay listing tried to sell a painting by an artist named Bill Stoneham titled The Hands Resist Him. The image depicts a small boy and a doll staring at the viewer with a dark window behind it covered in hands. Apparently, the boy stares straight into your soul. When a couple purchased it, they alleged that the figures would move around at night and even come out into the room. Sounds pretty far-fetched to me, but
And that looks like the
people who
kid
look
that
at
was,
the painting tend to feel sick. Children
Teachers have souls!
flat out run from it.
Red,
Apparently,
red.
they can feel the
Forget
hands
the
reaching out
forget the
towards
guy's
them.
name.
The painting even affects inanimate objects and stopped printers from printing a photo of it, while other print jobs work without issue. When the artist Stoneham found out about the notoriety of his work, he realized that 2 of his friends who reviewed the painting did die within a year. How about next time we resist looking at this painting just to be on the safe side?
It better not be a picture of the painting that also has the same effect.
Number 6. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Why people choose to stay at haunted hotels is beyond me. But if you ever feel adventurous and brave, pay a visit to Myrtle's Plantation. Converted into a bed and breakfast, this site houses on an Indian burial ground and is rumored to be the location of murders and creepy events galore. If you look into the mirror long enough, you will find that people are inside. According to the rumors, the spirit of Sarah Woodruff and her children remain trapped inside after being poisoned to death. Don't look into the mirror too long. It's rumored that they are trying to pull someone in to replace them. I guess the description for this place should be bed, breakfast, and banishment. Number 5. The Tallman bunk beds. Bunk beds are usually a source of fun for kids, but not this time.
Bunk beds are
When the
horrible.
Tallmans bought one for their children, they placed it in the garage, waiting to eventually place it upstairs in the kids' room. Then, it all started to happen. The children became scared sick, literally. They warned their parents of a witch that would occasionally visit them and change the station of the radio. As
That's
a
a
religious
strange thing
family,
to
the
do.
Tallmans sought help of a pastor who did his best to cleanse the house of evil spirits. To their dismay, he was not successful. One evening, upon their return, the father heard a raspy voice instruct them to enter the garage. When doing so, he found the room on fire and ran outside to grab the extinguisher. When he returned, the fire was gone. Doing what any responsible parent would do, he burned the thing to the ground. Things have
Attaboy.
been better since then. Number 4. The Conjure Chest. Back when slaves were still a part of common society, a man named Hosey built a beautiful chest for his owner, Jacob Cooley, in preparation for his son that was still in the womb. Although the chest was marvelous, Cooley beat Hosey so severely that it ended in his death. Bitter over the mistreatment of their comrade, one night many of Hosey's friends snuck the chest into their cabin and covered it with blood and sung a conjuring chant that would haunt the Cooley family for as long as they existed. In a satisfying way to the slaves, Cooley's first infant son, the one that Hosey created the chest for, died as a baby. The second son was stabbed. Now, if I kept listing all the people who were affected by this, I would have to explain how 17 of the Cooley family were killed by the unnatural forces of this
17
curse.
people? Wow.
One by one, members of the family dropped in a Final Destination-style story. The last one to own the chest, Miss Hudson, finally figured out the relationship between the chest and the slew of deaths. She gave it to the Kentucky History Museum, where they have placed a talisman to ward off the curse. I doubt it will be necessary. I think the Cooleys have suffered enough for their ancestors' crimes. Number 3.
I've heard of this
It
one
Wasn't
before.
Me. Robert Eugene Otto owned a doll in 1896. He loved this doll so much he would talk to it all day, every day. His parents did not take much notice of it until servants became concerned of deep voices that allegedly came from the doll that responded to Otto. One time, they even saw the doll move to and from the window from the neighbor's house. As suspicion mounted, chaos ensued. Otto would scream in a room where everything was destroyed, repeatedly blaming his doll for the destruction. Distraught and afraid, they left the doll in the attic. When Robert died, another family moved in, and the young girl who found it immediately knew that the doll wanted to kill her. Smart girl. The family threw it to a
creepy-looking
museum
doll.
where it still resides until this day. You must ask for permission to take a photo of it, lest you wish to be haunted. Forget that. Turn the flash off, and turn the camera off also. Number 2. Annabel. In continuing the doll trend, our number 2 is the story of Annabel. When a woman purchased a worn play toy from a thrift shop in 1970, her daughter took and kept it with her in her apartment. From then on, a series of strange events began to take place. Though no one touched it, they would often find it in other rooms. Creepier yet, they noticed pieces of paper on the floor with children's handwriting. Concerned, they brought it to a psychic to help them communicate with the presence haunting them.
Isn't there a horror movie based off
According to
that?
the help, the doll was inhabited by the ghost of a young girl named Annabel, who died in the apartment some time ago. Annabel replied that she was just looking for a friend. The girl and her roommate sadly chose to let Annabel stay. As time went on, paranormal occurrences became more and more frequent, attacking one of their male friends. On closer inspection by two famous psychic investigators, they realized that Annabel was in fact a demon lying about its identity. Annabel is now locked in a glass cabinet with a sign reading, "Warning, positively do not open." Number 1. Iceman. Some things are better left undisturbed. The finale is Ötzi, the Stone Age man frozen in ice. From his discovery in 1991, the spitefully poor luck of the Iceman has preyed upon all those who were related to it. The 53-century-old man's finder, a 67-year-old hiker, returned to the place where he found him and died in a freak blizzard. At his funeral, the leader of the search party to rescue the hiker died an hour later of a heart attack, and that was followed by the researcher who inspected Ötzi. Not learning from this pattern, researchers began to fall victim to Ötzi's curse. A man going to go give a lecture on it died unexpectedly in a car crash. More researchers have died of strange causes after attempting to study the relic. For now, Ötzi remains in a refrigerated room in Belanzo, Italy, where he can continue his rest undisturbed.
It's pretty crazy. Alright guys, hope you liked this video. This is pretty spooky. The one with the freaking bunk beds is a little bit weird. How the kids say there was like a witch that would come in and change the radio station. I mean, she just didn't like the tunes, I guess. And also, bunk beds are pretty horrible. I had them as a kid and I fell off the top to the bottom. That was not a fun experience. But with that being said, I hope you guys liked it. And if you did, give it a thumbs up, possibly share it with a friend. If you do, subscribe to Channel Family today. And if you're interested in any more reactions, check out my second channel, Charmix 2, where I do some there. And I'll see you guys next time. Boop!